Hi, and welcome back to my beginner series. This is lesson 3, and we're going to concentrate on the beginnings, or at least the first part of the bagpipe scale. So we're going to start to play the first 5 notes of the bagpipe scale. So in the previous the lessons, lesson 1 and lesson 2, which there'll be a link down here somewhere to guide you to them if you've just arrived here. So in the previous lessons what we learned to do was to assemble our chanter, how to hold the chanter, and now we're going to move on to play some notes. So previously we learnt with all our fingers covering all the holes, fingers in the correct positions, they're straight but relaxed, a nice light but firm grip, you can feel the holes underneath. And we learned how to blow a nice clean tone. So the next step is to learn to play some notes. So what I'll do first is I'll go through the first 5 finger positions and then we'll put them all together. So if you want to have a look in the description below, you'll find there's a download there. So I've made a sheet up, you can see that there, and it's got the finger position for each note, and the note's labelled there. It's got your hands, and it's also got the note on the stave. So for future, a little bit of learning there when we start to look at music. So yeah, so we'll look at the individual notes before we put them together. So first of all our fingers on, that's the lowest note on the bagpipe scale, and that's a low G. And it sounds like this. Hear that nice continuous tone, no air escaping. I find low G can be quite a difficult note for beginners because you're using all of your fingers. You've got all these different holes to concentrate on and try and sort of seal up. And what you'll end up with probably in the beginning for your first sort of few attempts, I would say, is you'll probably hear some air escaping, and it'll sound a little bit like this. So that's the sound that you want to avoid, and each note that we're going to look at, you want to avoid anything like that. You're looking for a nice clean tone. So anyway, so that was your low G, so all fingers on is a low G. So the next step, the next note up the scale is a low A, and all we do to achieve that is to lift our pinky and blow a nice steady continuous tone. The next note on the chanter is a B, and quite simply all we do, again there, we've got our pinky up, we lift our ring finger on our right hand. Now when we hold the chanter with all our fingers on, we keep our fingers straight but relaxed. When our fingers are off the chanter, we should do the same. So even though they're in the air, we don't curl them up, we keep them nice out in front of the chanter and straight but relaxed. We need to be relaxed to play. So that's a B, and it sounds like this. So again, we're going up in pitch there. The next note, there's a little bit more of a change here. So we put our pinky back down on the chanter and we lift our middle finger. So that's the shape that we're trying to achieve. And that's the note C. And finally, what we do is lift our index finger on our right hand. So there's the shape there. And that's a D. And that's your first 5 notes of the scale. Now, what we ideally want to do is play them all together. Pardon me. So we'll take a look at one particular change in note. So that's going from a B to a C, because that's out of that sequence, that's the most technically demanding change. So going from a B to a C, so your B position, if you look at your sheet, you've got the two fingers here off, and what we're going to do is put our pinky on the chanter, and we're going to lift our middle finger up at exactly the same time. It has to happen at exactly the same time. Otherwise we get an undesirable sound. Pipers call it a crossing noise. So rather than go from a B to a C, what you end up hearing is, well, as we move on up the chanter, you get a very distinct, instead of hearing two notes, you hear three. It's just a sort of dirty sound. But with the BC, you can hear there's almost like I've heard it called like a phantom crossing noise. So I'll illustrate that just now, just to let you hopefully hear it. So a clean, first of all I'll do a clean change, and then I'll do a dodgy one with a crossing noise. So clean. Yeah, everything happened at exactly the same time, and all we hear is two notes. So what I'll do is I'll start in a C, and I'll just put my pinky on and off, and you should hopefully be able to hear that crossing noise there. So on the BC it's very subtle, but you need to work hard and concentrate on avoiding that sound. So there we have it. That's the most technical change there, going B to C. So what we'll do now is we'll string all the notes together. We'll start at low G. I'll play at a nice slow pace. Take a deep breath, and you know, if you want, you can play the video back and you can try and play along and just practice. But it's important when you're learning the chanter, learning the bagpipes, that we practice everything very slowly, very controlled, and we have the correct technique before we move on and push the tempo. So we'll start low G up to D, nice and slowly. This is how it should sound. So have a go at that yourselves at home this week, and comment below how you're getting on. If you need any help, you can contact me and I'll give you some pointers. And yeah, good luck. Thanks.